City Council to conduct a workshop on March 2nd. I'm fine. It's currently 4 p.m. Now's the time for any public comment. We have none. So moving on to the next item, which is to discuss as maybe needed any regular meeting agenda items for tonight's meeting. So council or staff, anything we need to discuss or discuss?
The staff doesn't have anything. I just have a brief question.
Okay.
We seem to have a whole lot of contract rewrites, so to speak. Is this normal? Anything odd?
Contract amendments.
Thank you. Amendments. There's a word there. I knew it.
That's some change order.
A lot of change orders. Just all at once. Totally.
We just have a lot of projects going on.
Right.
I don't think there's anything abnormal. I mean, I think they're,
Great.
they're largely, fairly routine.
Good.
Um,
They looked routine, but
Yeah,
there's
we
just so many all at once.
that's true.
I wondered if there was some, if you nothing, great, that's all I had.
Yeah, just coincidental that they
Fine.
all are coming forward at.
With the increase in costs, et cetera, is in a common city contract, is there availability to adjust the price based upon inflation or anything like that, or it's once it's in, done and done? Okay. So that wouldn't have anything to do with it.
For reasons of like adding, there's one, I believe the FBO one is on the agenda, and it's just adding a couple of things that weren't in the original scope that, as construction has moved forward, we realized would be needed. Item L, which is related to the MLK Festival grounds. During the construction, there was some very, very old box culverts found that, were unknown prior that are causing a failure in the parking lot that needs to be addressed. So some of the things occurred that, you just don't know that condition exists when you're making the plan, so you have to make adjustments after the project starts.
In that area, did we ever go back and fix that leak that's coming out of the police department?
The green ooze kind of across the street.
Yeah.
That was, has that been completed, or is it, I know that it was funded.
Design was completed and I believe it was 40 or 20 years, but it hasn't been.
It was a contract amendment to Emerson's contract just recently, I believe.
Oh, okay, just.
Yes,
Do we call it the green ooze?
the source of the water included groundwater, which is going to be, perpetual. So we addressed it by capturing it with some surface inlets. That's already been authorized by council.
Great. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, item 2 is receive departmental update from airport and public works. Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. City Manager Buckets. As you've all seen, passed our new logo for the future FBO, the Temple Executive Air Center. And at the top, communications and marketing has worked with us in providing a new logo for the airport. And we'll be kicking off that logo and branding when we do our grand opening for the new terminal. So welcome aboard, and let's travel along, see how the airport's doing. Some of the accomplishments we've done, excuse me, allergies are just terrible. We had finished up our food truck season in October. It was a lot of fun. It was also the day that we dressed up for Halloween, and all the airport staff were Star Wars people. So the homeschool kids got a huge kick out of that as they got to interact with us and learn about learning to fly, the abilities of doing that when they turn 16, and then also different jobs that are available in the aviation world. We also started and kicked off our air show planning. As you all will know, hopefully, that Saturday, May 13th, we will be having the air show. For hangars and facilities, we have 2 interested parties in building hangars. One is a private individual, and we have another one that is corporate and wants to build a corporate hangar in the corporate hangar complex once we are done with expanding that complex. We're currently working with KPA and the city engineer, Richard, bringing utilities to those future areas so that the future hangars will have water, sewer, and power. As far as our operations and staffing, we hired ADK Consultants. They're a very large national firm that focuses on the aviation world and positions in that. And they're helping us with the new FBO manager hiring process. That position just closed last Sunday. And out of all the applicants, they said we have really 8 really good applications that are going to be very competitive for that position.
What will be that interview process?
So ADK is going to do the first 3 phases of that, where they have to do a video interview. Whoever passes that, then they go to their first round of in-person, and then they send the finals 3 or 4 people to us, and then HR and the city will take over and complete that and make a decision.
Got it. Thank you.
Our current staffing is at 100%, minus, of course, the FBO manager. And we do have 2 customer service agents that positions that are open, but we're waiting for the new FBO manager to come online so that person can hire their own employees. We are working on the FBO terminal. If you've driven by the airport, it is very noticeable. It is a big blue and green construction site, and you can definitely notice it from Airport Road that the construction's going on. The corporate hangar phase 4, that's where we're expanding our hangar area so that future corporate hangars will have access road and immediate utilities. And basically it's just a shovel ready area so that we can go out and market and bring more companies into the airport. And then TxDOT Aviation, we are working with them on a grant that will rehab all of the ramp areas around our T hangars and also repaint our main runway. So what's coming ahead of us is this month, last Wednesday of the month, we will begin our food truck season again. I believe this month is barbecue. We try to mix it up so every month is a different food truck here in the Temple community. And they love coming out, and they do a pretty good job. Plus, they enjoy it because it's successful for them.
What are the hours for the food trucks?
11 to 1. We are diligently continuing the air show planning. It is my first major air show to plan, and it is quite a hefty feat, but I think the lineup that we have and all the amenities, it's going to be great for our community to come out and get their fix on airplanes and aviation again. In the last month or so, unfortunately, we had one of our ramps in front of a hangar failed. So we are working on the design and getting that repaired. And of course, hopefully continuing moving forward to getting those utilities to the future private hangar area. Also, as I mentioned before, we are going to be completing our FBO manager hire. And also, I'm very happy to acknowledge that our department did a great job and completed the Texas Commission on Fire Protection inspection last month as well. Or we actually just did it this month, so it's a little behind on this slide. Sorry about that. And then, of course, we'll continue working on our different projects. So here is the aircraft canopy that's being erected out at the airport. And this is going to be like a valet system where aircraft will taxi underneath this awning or canopy. They will deplane, we'll help them with their luggage, get them to their rental car or their vehicle, and then we'll tow it and park the aircraft for them. And then when they're ready to leave, we bring the aircraft back just like any other valet that you use in your car. This is one of our local corporate folks that visit us quite often here. I just wanted to take this picture to show the comparison. This is one of our largest business jets. It's a Gulfstream 4, and its comparison to the height of that canopy.
Where does she keep her plane?
It sits on our ramp for a few days a week, but whenever she's home in California, that's where they hang her. So I have spoke to their aviation division director and planted that seed and keep communications on. We have great space for them to build a hangar
Yeah, I
here.
can't remember her name, but she's with SpaceX.
Yeah, go ahead.
With whom?
SpaceX? Oh.
The airport strategic initiatives were mostly on track with everything or completed. The only thing that is really still lagging, and that's because it's a future start date, is the taxiway D realignment. That's going to help us realign a taxiway that crosses a runway that's unsafe currently due to its 45-degree angle crossing of the runway. But our customer service program, the air show, are on track, along with the FBO terminal as well. So the airport KPIs, operations from the beginning of this fiscal year to January. As you can see, our operation numbers are well above previous years. You just have to take note that, of course, the last couple of years in this comparison are COVID years. So it's really great to see these numbers, but I think this year and next year will really give us a good idea of how we're operating and the numbers. Jet fuel sales, November just was gangbusters for us. I think it was not a record for the airport, but in second place for the most gallons sold in 1 month. But as you'll see here this year, we're doing very well in that as well. If you look at our jet fuel sales by customer, the majority of our jet fuel sales are, of course, our local corporate folks that have hangars on our airport, followed up by our transient folks, and that is our Niagara bottling, Polar bottling, and of course SpaceX and those folks that don't physically have a hangar here at our airport, but come to visit their companies here quite often. And of course, following up the bottom is military. Happy to say that Fort Hood's aircraft are back from overseas, and they are coming to visit quite often now. Avgas is the fuel that's sold to our piston and propeller aircraft. This is most of our local folks that have a T hangar here, or they're just they fly for a hobby, or sometimes they do fly for business. But these are the guys that really you can see as the price of fuel went up in November and December, they flew less. And it's obvious by the numbers here. The way we track our Avgas customers is by full service and self-serve. I'd like to say that they love our customer service so well that 57% still have their gas pumped by us instead of going to the self-serve pump. And then the other aspect is they're just lazy and want us to do it again. If you look at the both Avgas and jet fuel combined, we're doing really well compared to previous years as well. Our T hangars, we have 74 T hangars. 2 are under repairs right now. And as you'll see on the agenda for today, we are filling one of those. But we still have 74 people on the waiting list for teams.
Is it a requirement that they own a plane to even get on the waiting list?
No, we have a few people that are on the waiting list that do not have an airplane. And we've had some issues where we've contacted that person. They say, great, I'll take it. And I'm going to go buy an airplane. And we say, unfortunately, no, you have to have an airplane first before we can give it to you. Though.
John, didn't you say you went through the list and these are all viable?
Yeah, so our list was almost a 90. And I had our administrative staff really go down, call each individual and verify that do you still live in this area? Are you still interested? And that really helped us cut this number down.
What's the most popular airport? If for the local owners that are on that list that have a plane, where else are they putting them right now?
There, some
Everywhere?
are on our ramp and on the ramps at Skylark and the ramps at Georgetown.
Okay.
We have a few that do have hangars in like Austin Exec or Austin Airport, and the prices are just so outrageous that they want to get out of there. But of course, they don't want to lose that space until they have something.
What about Hearn? Does anybody go with Hearn?
I haven't heard or seen any names on the.
Are we competitive with Georgetown or is Georgetown a lot more expensive than we are?
No, we are about the same price as Georgetown right now.
Do we know what their waiting list is?
They are in the hundreds there. So it's just that ripple effect from Austin.
Sure.
They just keep hitting all the airports further and further out. Our art departments only had to respond to one incident so far this fiscal year, and that was in December. Luckily, the aircraft landed safely and everything was okay. Some grant funds that we are receiving this fiscal year, of course, our annual ramp grant we get every year. We are going to try to use this for some tree and vegetation removal that's for the tree line that's under the approach of runway 16. Hopefully we get some good bids this year. Last year we didn't, but we need to really focus on getting those trees and vegetation removed so that the wildlife will go away from the runway areas. And then, of course, the grant we were receiving for our T-hanger ramp rehab and to repaint our main runway. Operating revenue and expenses. I'm always happy on this one. Excuse me. And as you see, we didn't get, excuse me, we didn't get the February numbers in yet. But so far this fiscal year, we are running in the black. Now, of course, minus we are missing the FBO manager salary and the 2 customer service salaries. But I still even think when they come on that we're going to be doing just fine. And with that, I appreciate your time and I'll take any questions that anyone has.
When do we go get the ribbon cutting?
So right now, the FBO, it looks like it'll be complete end of August, and then we'll set up a date in September for the grand opening. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You bet.
Rob?
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I hoped we got something. I was very jealous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
So if you all would humor me for just a second and then flip me over, flip your deck over, tell me who's on the bottom. Jessica, who do you have?
Rob Martinez.
Because Ralph Martinez, he's our Assistant Public Works Director for Fleet and Solid Waste Operations. So he's gonna update you on that this afternoon. And I see Susan, you've got Kenny, Assistant Public Works Director over Transportation Services. He'll update you on that. Leave that for last. Thank you, Judy. Justin Brantley is here at special request to give you an update on solid brush and bulk collections, specifically brush.
Can't imagine why. So I think the whole town's barbecue.
It smells like that Sean, sounds like we feel we're actually burning brush.
Yeah.
A bad bill right now, so apologies if you can smell that. I
But it-
tried to walk into Miller's the other day and I got kicked out. And then Judy, can you show them that? That is, Stephen Morales. He's a foreman over your sewer collection teams. He walked into the break room this morning, saw how I was dressed. As we started talking about council and how Stephen would not have to appear and y'all would never have to see him. So are we recording, Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, so say hi to the camera, Stephen. You're on TV. So at your pleasure, we can either do the departmental updates or we can hear from Justin first on brush collection updates.
Hear from Justin.
We can get him back to work out there on the truck.
I'll just tell you that, kind of what we've done in the last month. And we, after the ice event, February 2nd, we started collecting the brush. 611 truckloads as of, before this morning is what we've hauled so far. We've done that from areas 1, 3, 5, and 6. That does not mean we've cleaned up the whole area of any one of those areas, just we've been in those areas. So we break the city up into 8 areas for brush and bulk. So we've been roughly 50% of the city so far. We starting in March, starting today, we started in area 3. We're back on what is scheduled for that. And we're starting to pick up bulk now. We did not pick up any bulk trash for whatsoever in February, but we dedicated one person to start picking up bulk. The rest of the team is picking up brush. We're going to stay in area 3 until we're finished. So now,
Do the numbers relate to districts?
yes, no, ma'am.
Oh.
Well, somewhat, but not exactly.
Okay.
I have a map. You want to bring that up, Kelly? It'll kind of make sense to you. If you notice areas, the ones I said 1, 3, 5, and 6 are kind of the central part of the city. That's where we saw the most damage, and that's where my team and Kenny's team went to pick up clear streets, and that took us about 3 weeks to respond to just the down trees and getting all that picked up that was necessary first. It's not 3 weeks to clear the streets, but it was 3 weeks for cutting trees and getting stuff off of power lines and that kind of stuff. It took a while. Now that we're doing, we're back on schedule though. We're gonna. Kelly's doing a fine job.
You see the numbers.
You can say, yeah. I can kind of point out where we've been. That's good right there, Kelly. Kind of area 3 central over here into area 1, up back around, and then this side of area 6 historic district is what we've been through right now. Currently, we're going to finish area 3 until we're done. It's probably going to be well into next week before we're finished. And then we're going to move to area 4. We're going to do it in order as they're scheduled for March. It's going to take more than one day for each day. That's normally what it takes. But so then we're going to move up to area 4 after we do area 3. And then how the calendar works, it's the first Monday is area 1. So next week is if we were on track, we'd go 3, 4, then back to 1. So we're going to go back to 1 and finish that after we do area 4. And then we're area 2. We have not hit any part of area 2 yet, but that's what we're going to hit after we do area 1. So it's going to take us a while. I would say probably residents are only going to get 1 pickup a month instead of the 2 that we normally promise.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to take us through April to finish this way. So we're not charging any over limit fees or anything like that. We're doing all this free, the service for free. But it's going to take us, I would think, till the end of April to get through the entire city.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I read to Justin earlier Today in the paper, I don't know if y'all heard Betsy Chamling was very sweet to put a letter to the editor thanking everybody here at the city. And I know the folks in North Temple have been very vocal online. I'm just very appreciative of what you guys are doing. And I think all the citizens in Temple really understand the pressure that you're under.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you guys
Thank
so
you.
very much.
I got a call, I don't know, maybe Tuesday from the mayor of Parker Heights.
Mhm.
He goes to church over here, and so he had driven around and seen it. And then he asked me what the city's strategy was to get it all cleaned up. And then kind of toward the end of the conversation, he said, you know, there's no way with what we have with our equipment and our personnel, he says, there's no way we could handle that. There's no way. So I'm like, I know, man, we're Temple.
Yeah. I wish we could do it faster.
No,
I do, but I'm glad and proud, and I'm proud of my team for what they've done so far.
but to Jessica's point, I think everyone understands the volume. They saw the devastation, they understand the volume, and they're patient.
Yeah.
And I have received 0 complaints about that's been sitting in front of my house for too long.
I received one complaint only from people who want to put their for sale sign out and the trees or the brush is in the way.
Are y'all getting a lot of complaints from
Yes, sir.
irate?
I have,
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
Well,
I've only got warnings from my.
Justin, we also have.
One from my husband.
yes, yeah, Kenny's team helped quite a bit. We were using dump trucks.
Yep.
Filling dump trucks up and everything else. And we've had, it's kind of been on all hands on deck. So.
I will tell you that we've actually had to remove probably close to 50 that were cracked and one side
from where?
from right all over town.
From, I mean, like from overhanging streets or from parks or?
Totally destroyed. We've been removing down trees.
So every once in a while, it's not very often, I drive by a house that obviously has had no maintenance. You know, they are still where they fell. And it makes me think it's either an empty house possibly, or maybe an elderly person that just is, are we doing anything to identify, to check on people? Is that outside the scope of what we're trying to
Outside,
do?
if it's in the right of way, we are.
Yeah.
We were stopping by and talking to people. We've got one person doing that. If it's outside the right of way, we are.
Okay.
So we will expect to be behind schedule as we go in order for the schedule, but we will not be on schedule.
That's correct.
We'll be delayed.
That's correct.
That's okay.
And we're updating our solid waste website of what area we're currently in and which one we'll be in next. And so that's as far as we're going to take it. And when we kind of anticipate,
I would be concerned because you're right. Spring growth and storm.
Yeah.
So it may not be over.
Yeah.
We'll find some more of those weakened trees when the winds get up for sure.
maybe after tonight.
Our team is really pushing out all of your information that you're passing on to
We
them.
work-
So I think that helps
Yeah.
too. People feel like they're in.
Mayor, if it's okay, Kelly had what I think is a good question for Justin about people who want to help kind of get a head start on the cleanup.
So if I live in Temple and I want to bring my own trees, do I have to pay for them to be done?
No, ma'am. We'll take anybody that wants to bring it, and we have a spot for you to put it.
Oh,
So,
nice.
That might help.
and also another point that we're trying to get the message out for bulk is, every city Temple resident with their current water bill gets a free dump at the month, free dump at the landfill every month. So we are encouraging, if we're not getting to you fast enough, you have the ability to bring it in for free. So.
Are there any other cities around that offer that bulk trash?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. It's because we own our own landfill and we set that up in our contract with Waste Management that we have that service for our citizens.
But we also provide a much higher level of service
Yes.
at curbside, brush and bulk collection than
Anybody?
most, and yeah, far more. than
We're
most.
also we're also very forgiving in what we allow people to categorize as bulk. So it's not just big things that can't get thrown in the dumpster. We pick up pretty much anything that's out there.
Thank you. I don't know, I put both out. I put a stove out by the street the other day and it was gone in 15 minutes. I heard this big truck pull up, yeah.
It wasn't us.
No. It's really good. You know, you can put your stuff out there and, you know, it ends up being repurposed.
Exactly, because one guy's junk is the next guy's treasure.
That's right. So, well, very good. Well, I know you guys are working hard. Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry that you're getting harassing calls, Justin.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you're getting harassing calls. It's really.
No, it's part of the job.
Okay.
You signed up for it. It's okay.
You didn't sign up for that. Just cut out Betsy's letter to the editor and put it on your wall.
Okay, I will.
Read it.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna give an update from July to December on transportation, solid waste and fleet. I'm kicking it off with transportation. It's pretty short. One of the things we're concentrating on now in most parts of the city, and we have this stuff, is getting these old heads that you just see a hand and then one hand to count down time. Audio pads so people can hear them say it. They know how much time they have to cross. Feel like we've installed some of them downtown and we're continuing to do it. Construction kind of slowed us down, so there's some intersections we still have to get to. But it's kind of a neat deal. That's one thing that, and it's really hard downtown because all the conduit's very small. It's compressed small, been in there for years, so we have to pull so much old wire that was probably put in the 60s and push this through. So it really, and we don't have enough room to lay new conduit through there. So one of the things that we've done is we replaced what they call old iTerrace processors. This is what takes and does the daking from the cameras. The cameras go in, they send it to this, they figure out what's going on, they send it to what we call a bus interface unit that decides, okay, I'll let this way go at night. And we had a very old system that we're failing, and we've got that. We've upgraded all of those that we had, all the older ones, they're gone. No more issues with those. So that was something they worked the weekends to get that done. Couple other things that we did, we built El Camino. We've done a lot of level up on these roads that are actually in the cap. We don't want to spend a lot of money on them because they're in the long range capital. So we're just trying to level up, keep them passable. One of the issues is you do have development going on a lot of these, which means increased traffic, which means they're not holding up as well. So we're just going to try to keep people satisfied and keep them by their keys. And this is just some of the level ups we're doing. This is the alley we did for Our Lady of Guadalupe. We rebuilt it.
Father was very happy. So thank you.
And then we also went with the traffic that was expected at Meta and what's coming. We put some truck flashers up at their request. This was, wasn't much to do. This is our new staff. What we've hired since then, it's getting a lot better. We're getting more people. And the sidewalk program that everybody passed, this is the leader. He has about almost 15 years experience, some supervisor level, and he has come in and really took off. He's working on hiring his crew. So I'm hoping here in the next couple of months, we're doing some flat work. So.
Kenny, what about equipment for that crew?
We've got a skid loader on board. We have a lot of things on board. But we do have some equipment that we're not going to set still. We're going to go ahead and go to work.
Thank you.
So.
That's your neighbor, Mike Pickle.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah. Travis Morgan looks like, David Bates.
Michael's actually a really good hand.
He's a good guy. He's been neighbor for a few years.
These are some of our key performances indicators for the last calendar year. We kind of did. You'll see a lot of these dashes here, and that's due to lack of staffing. And this is going to get better when we redo this. When we do this again, I believe it's in June. you're gonna see, I'm gonna put this back up with this, and you're gonna see a lot more of these filled out. You are.
Does that just mean you've taken it off your plans for now? What does it
It just
actually?
means, yeah, we went to really what's priority.
Okay.
What is priority, what has to be done, and a lot of this stuff is proactive. We're getting back into proactive. So, I mean, we still have to patch potholes, we still have to do water cuts. We still have to do street cut repairs, alley failures and all that, and we still have to maintain the trees, the signs, and that's what's come first. And so, we still have to mow the drainage channels. They've done a really good job. You could, you look at this C maintenance here, everybody always says 137, second, that never changes. That's the amount of signals we have to maintain. We have to open them up every month in the C maintenance and look at them, and signals to throw flash. So as we add signals in the school zone, this goes up, never goes down. But the METDC requires us to open it up. We have a log, but we actually still have to physically sign to do it for liability purposes. Upcoming, we're still in ice storm cleanup. We're probably on the same as far as getting these trees cut that are broken and stuff, even in auto pay. We've got them out of the street, we've got them safe, they're not hanging. We still have a lot of trees cut down from the storm. Good news is we have our slurry seal contract and overlay contracts ready to go. We should be putting some asphalt on the ground next month. And I believe y'all received the list of those. And we'll start with overlay because it doesn't have to quite be as warm, and then we'll move into the slurry seal May or June. And this will be the first time we've done a slurry seal, and we get a lot more bang for it. So.
Is it that much cheaper than the chip seal? Is that right?
Chip seal has some issues. Chip seal is a kind of a petroleum membrane you put on the ground, and then you put this aggregate over the top of it.
Mhm.
And you usually get a lot of dust, get a lot of bleeding, the rocks come up. You'll see under trees that you just get the black spots and all the rock comes up because it got too cold.
Mhm.
This is much better.
Mhm.
This is putting a little thin layer of really fine aggregate asphalt on top of the pavement. And plus it seals the cracks. And then we have a couple of roads. We still need to finish miles of road. We're fixing to plow the rest of that. And we'll get that done between now and August. And then we're going to start doing some of Monroe because it's not impassable, but it's really bad. So, any questions? Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up, you're going to see some signals. Brent's got one on Cheney Creek. We have a camera system that we use for years. It's called Trafficom. And we've got the money to replace them, but we weren't replacing them until they went out. We've had about 6 of them go out at the same time. So we're still waiting on the new ones to come in. So you're going to see some interruptions and some weird things happening, and they no longer support that we can't get them fixed. They don't sell them no more. No, nothing. So we have to go to a whole new system, which means whole new wiring and everything. So we were getting that done, but we're waiting on them to come in. So you're going to see they were operating fine, but they're operating on fixed timing, not what the cars are telling them that they do. So not much we can do. As soon as it doesn't take long, a couple days to get them fall, but once we get them here, it'll be a pretty quick deal.
You mean that we will change the light.
I think fire department's the only one that's got a button. So, solid waste.
So if I were to not stop, not that I would do that, chief, but at that Canyon Creek, can I go back and blame it on?
You can give it a shot.
And you'll get the ticket once.
It sounds like most of us who live in South Temple, know that's what we want.
All the colorful language I've used.
And I totally understand.
Oh, that was you I saw in the car next to me. No, that makes sense.
All right, so solid waste, just,
just to reiterate some of the kudos, and I just want to thank Justin for making me look like I know what I'm doing, but you guys taking a lot of pressure off of us over in building A, and we appreciate that, and I know you're getting a lot of calls. But I think for the most part, our citizens are very grateful that I am too. This past quarter, we had a really successful hazardous household waste day. That's the day that we have our citizens come in and bring in their things that you would normally not want to see in our landfill. We had 660 participants, and that is the highest amount of participants that we've seen. And this is year 4.
No, it's,
2.
no, it's longer, 7 or 8.
7 years. Wow. So the word is getting out, and that's the word getting out. We're getting a lot of participation from the public, and we appreciate that because that's a lot of some of the stuff that's diverted from the landfill that shouldn't be there to begin with. Some notable things there. We saved upwards of $40,000 by diverting a lot of this latex paint that's supposed to bring in, and we were keeping that, and we're actually going to be, as the months go by and we move into our new facility, you're going to start seeing a paint blending program that's very interesting. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but I know we're going to be able to blend some of this paint that's being bought in by the citizens and making it available back to the public, but by offering about 3 shades, I believe it's, some shades, but it's, it's paint that's not being, thrown in our landfill, and it's allowing us to save a lot of money from hazardous household, because although we get some grant money or we get some donated money to put that on, it's still expensive. And if we can, the more money we can save, the more that we can offer the public, and by diverting that away from the private companies that haul it away, it's a big plus for us. We had a family day event that the recycling team went to care of at the elementary schools. Fright Fest, and we did some collaboration with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics departments at Temple ISD. We also were able to acquire 2 brand new side-load residential trucks to add to our fleet, which cuts down on downtime due to maintenance. This over off of Avenue H, right, catty corner to our public works service centers, our new facility. That building on the upper left hand, that is the new transfer facility where all our recycling is going to go. That is about, over 100% improvement from where we are now, and our team getting into the new digs. That team is really looking forward to this. We have, I got some word from Justin, just correct me if I'm wrong, but we should be moving in May.
May 24th is our target date.
May 24th, so we're looking for ribbons to cut.
Maybe in June, let us get there.
Yeah, let's
Call it
start,
June.
yeah, June, let's start
You're gonna crack a champagne bottle on the roof.
absolutely, yeah.
Only for respect.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Susan, you'll need a crane or a lift to get somebody up there. It's gonna be what?
I
How
can,
tall is the roof?
30, yeah.
30 something.
I'll crack it on the side.
yeah,
Get the ladder truck from Station House 1.
there we go. So bottom right hand, just above our CNG station is the new admin building. That's where we're gonna house our CSRs, our administrative and the leadership for solid waste. For the solid waste team, that is also a huge improvement. And I'm really excited about that. I'm sure Justin and his team are too. This is actually taken, changed a lot. A lot of the concrete has already been poured, so they have been, if there were to be another aerial taken today, it would be much different. Some new faces. We have some new drivers, maintenance folks for the recycling team. We have a new admin assistant, Marcia Mellum, who's helping out Justin Bridge. We are now 96%.
96.
97,
95.
95% of our positions are filled. Have been teaming up with our friends over at the marketing and communications team that have been helping us out to get the word out, not just, to get these announcements out to the public in terms of outages or delays or what section we are, but they're also helping us spread the word on recycling and getting our diversion rates up. And here is a couple of videos that they put together you've probably seen out there.
Don't be a drag. Dump out that bag.
Don't be a drag. Dump out that bag.
And then we have what's that? Yeah. Then we have Lindsay Francis, who's a habitual violator. So those are just two of those public service announcements that these were actually targeted at the plastic bags. I know it's a lot. Some folks they mean well, but they bag up, their recyclables from them and thing, and that just means we have just another step in the transfer on the transfer. Next 6 months, we're expecting some more side load trucks and to replace some of the older vehicles that we have out there. We plan to bring in another recycling route, another curbside recycling route, and a 9th garbage route. We have resumed Saturday operations at center number 2. That's the one over by Gover. So we have someone actually there doing folks that are dropping off their materials or recycling materials and keeping that place orderly. In case you're wondering, over the weekend, it's probably the busiest time for those drop-off, and we do have a lot of participation. So that's kudos to our citizens.
Why are people dropping off? I mean, are they dropping off something different?
We have some areas where there is no.
Yeah, we don't offer services right now for people who live in apartments. So that's their biggest way to recycle.
Not even in a bulk.
Right, not okay. So
Also glass.
glass is the drop-off center is the only place for recycled glass, or we accept it. So, and there are also a lot of out of town people.
Yeah,
We do have that.
and we were speaking about Harker Heights. Harker Heights is one of them. My wife works in Harker Heights, and she told a lot of folks over there, especially when she works, really concerned because of the amount of boxes and cardboard that we produce. They really don't have a program that's, they don't have a program that they can really depend on. So we do get folks from out of town that want to do the right thing, but they know we have a drop off. Bring it in.
But having someone there has really stopped that from being the second landfill.
Right. Yeah.
So that has helped.
Yeah. And you can see the difference because if you go to drop off number 1, and I go there, usually go there on Mondays, it's across from building A, and you'll see inside some of the roll-offs, like the glass, someone will throw a television there, or doors or construction materials. So, and we have no way of stopping them. At one point we had almost half of our glass roll-off full of was it morphine and,
Yes, it was
and
little
a bunch
vials
of
of
narcotic
drugs.
files,
Mm.
files for drugs from medical. Those are fun to do. Yeah, chief helped me out with those.
What do you do with it?
We found out who it was. It was one of our medical supply folks, and they were supposed to be clean. They thought that would be a great way to recycle them, but they're made of like a Pyrex type of glass.
Right.
Takes enormous amount of heat to recycle it, and the people that recycle our glass, they can't do anything with it, so it's really trash. So, and of course, we'll be moving into our new solid waste complex. We also have a food waste program that's coming on board. That's also going to be housed in our new complex, and what that's going to mean is that We're gonna be able to take the food waste that you would already put down your garbage disposal or in the trash, and we can convert that into compost that you can use in your gardens or your plants. Again, the food waste is a big deal when it comes, we're hauling away, putting all the food waste, if you were to look at, all the households and think of all the food that's going into a trash can, and then we're having to drive it around town in a 20-ton vehicle. So all those, every amount of weight it means dollars. It's dollars, it's waste, it's the environment, it's all that. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing some stuff with our reblending paint and redistributing that, and we'd like to, make the best use out of our new facilities to increase our revenues coming in from commodities such as cardboard. Fleet services, and I know I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna go right through this. We are, we implemented, or we wrote a new policy that will eventually become a new administrative directive, and that's geared at our vehicles and equipment. All those assets that have an asset number on them will fall under this new administrative directive that's designed to increase the responsibility and sense of ownership to the folks operating it. It's not necessarily a safety policy, but we believe that this is going to help us keep our vehicles and our equipment from being down due to unscheduled maintenance. This is the process right now where we're doing some more edits, and we're going to try to find a way to marry this new administrative directive with Administrative Directive 5, which was just recently revived, and that one is the administrative directive that deals with the VAR, with the vehicle accident review board. And I'm losing my voice. Here's a shot of our fleet mechanics, our technicians, and fleet leadership. We already completed the bids about 4 months earlier than usual, so these folks are getting pretty efficient over there when it comes to doing all this admin stuff. 36 to 74 assets as of about 3 weeks ago were already purchased. I'm pretty sure that number is a little higher now. We installed a hydraulic table, a brand new system that we're going to use to create hydraulic hoses for our heavy equipment and for our solid waste trucks. We got a new, the heavy duty tire bay was moved and reconfigured, and that's added to some of the turnaround time for tire jobs. And of course, we have a new, some motor pool software equipment, and that's gonna enable us to move into another one of our strategic initiatives that was to create a vehicle or equipment sharing program. So here's some of the new equipment that see right around the time. You look at the top right-hand corner, that orange thing being loaded on the back of that truck. That thing was one of the beginning of February. That's the sander that was just finished and installed and placed into service just
The same day.
the same day as the freeze came. So that thing there, that truck to the left, that rear load garbage truck that you see back there, that's another one of our rock stars. That thing has paid dividends. I like it. I don't know how much Justin likes it. I'm sure he does. I like the idea that we can put a maintenance team behind the wheel of that thing and operate it where they don't require to have a CDL. So that's a lot of flexibility for us. It's not a lot of capacity, but if you're thinking of doing some scavenger routes that I call, the ones that, we miss a couple of cans and have to go back there, that's perfect for that. And that was a really great purchase.
Don and I have been out in that one and worked a full day one day, so it's how dangerous it can be.
Yeah, I'm still in therapy over that, but
It's fun.
The rear loader. I know it's generic, but it's the only one we got like.
We call it Arlo.
Arlo.
Yeah. The next time that we have a project with the kids, maybe we can get them to name some of the
Yeah,
trucks.
that's a good idea.
You know, we had to make a calendar, I don't know if you saw the calendars, but calendars are not. Some more equipment that we have, I believe two of those are fires. We have some PV vehicles in there, Buford's bad boy mowers up there in the top, and that angry looking yellow thing, that's a stump grinder. Yeah. So, it's just. Oh, sorry.
I'd like to borrow that.
Okay, yeah, so we hired a new shop foreman and inventory supervisor, and you know this happened after that, but we also filled that last position we had in the warehouse. We promoted Ms. Garcia from the auto foreman position to heavy duty. And this is one that I'm really proud of. We have at one point, very recently, we had no EDTs, those are emergency vehicle technicians for our fire apparatus. We now have two that are not haven't completed the entire process, but that are very well into it, and they're doing really well. That's Mr. Stephen Estabrook and Ms. Kaylee Heath, and also Mr. Skopak, who is our Director of Fleet Services, is completing his management level EBT certifications. Next 6 months, we hope to hire that mentor for the heavy duty side, another auto technician, and the inventory specialist I mentioned earlier. That has been they have been hired. Of course, complete the purchasing procurement process. Get ready for our for the new fiscal year 24 replacement plan. The equipment sharing plan should be implemented within the next 6 months. For those that are not aware, we have apprentices, but we have some interns or students from Temple ISD from the high schools auto. That program is ongoing. We hope for that to evolve. And we have a conference coming up in Dallas. That's the Southwest Emergency Vehicle Technician Conference and Training that we hope to send some of our folks to. And of course, continue motivating and encouraging our technicians to continue their education. And 2 minutes to spare.
Let's see, you guys are pretty well hired up.
Yes, we're doing, we are moving along in that. We do still have some turnover. That can be concerning, but we are getting.
So it looks like the market's changing any. I mean, are y'all getting more applications in, or
I think we are.
maybe more qualified folks?
Yeah, and I think we did a lot of work when it came to our job descriptions and the way we were posting positions, even things as simple as changing the title of the job, where keyword searches were getting more hits.
Everybody's putting in so much work from the compensation study, the HR, and
Right.
that I think it's all one big effort.
Right.
Great, that is good news.
I would say that not the least of which is y'all's support. of
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
A significant increase. Fully staffed, so we can provide the services to our community.
And also with retention. I think retention is improved.
The guy that, just real quickly, the guy that you showed up there, it was my neighbor. He stopped by one day, he was in the neighborhood and stopped by. And he came up on the porch, we talked a little bit, and he said specifically, he said there were 15 guys that were about to start looking until the compensation was adjusted. And he said, I think like 13 of them stayed.
We have, in the past 3 weeks, we've hired 2 from TxDOT, and we have.
It's nice for that road between the city and TxDOT, or the city and the county, to go both ways when it comes to.
Right. Right.
We actually hired a 20-year TxDOT.
Hey, Ralph, the last
Might be one
picture,
way.
you carefully put the technical yellow can in the front, didn't you?
I did it, but that was that picture was taken by Don. I thought it was funny.
But you stuck that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got me.
And a Goya thing up at the top.
You got me.
All right, very good. Is there anything else before we adjourn this meeting? Thank you. Solid Waste Airport, all the good work. You guys make us look good. We appreciate it.